Hey, this is Zhe Scott, President and CEO of TSQ Marketing Incorporated, aka the SEO Queen. And if you want to learn the 6 and 7-figure science to success, significantly increase your revenue, and learn how to successfully build professional relationships, you should be listening to the Sell Without Selling podcast with my good friend, Stacey O'Byrne.
If you're ready to get out of your own way to follow the 7-figure science of success, then welcome to Sell Without Selling. Tune in with renowned international speaker Stacey O'Byrne as she shows you how mastering relationships, achieving the proper mindset, and attaining the necessary motivation will catapult you away from failure and onto your journey to greatness. And now, here is your host, Stacey O'Byrne.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Sell Without Selling. I'm your host, Stacey O'Byrne, and I believe that learning the art and the science of how to sell without selling is the only way to achieve high 6 and 7-figure success. I'm really excited to get into today's episode. And really quick, if you're a business owner, entrepreneur, or sales professional and you haven't hit the level of success that you've wanted or needed, or if you're stuck and needing a pivot in your business and your success, or maybe you just want more and you understand the importance of having a coach to help identify the blind spots, increase accountability, and help with success strategies to take you, your business, your income, and your success to the next level. If this sounds like something for you, then head over to pivotpointadvantage.com/I want success. That's pivotpointadvantage.com/I want success. There's a quick application there that will lead to a personal phone call with me to see if we're a great fit for each other. All right, let's do this. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Sell Without Selling. I'm your host, Stacey O'Byrne, and today I'm speaking with a really good friend of mine, Zhe Scott. Zhe Scott is the SEO queen, is creative yet technical marketing and search engine optimization coach who achieves authentic success through building credible, visible, and profitable brands. She is the chief digital strategist for the SEO services company TSQ Marketing Inc. with an MIT degree in the science of information technology management. Wow, MIT, I'm impressed, Zhe. Zhe is a sought-after digital marketing partner who procures tangible results for client companies, wins on key performance indicators, that's KPIs for those of you who know what success and how to measure success is in business, are transparently tracked, monitored, and evaluated. Return on investment is always considered when any digital marketing strategy is crafted. Zhe not only has her finger on the pulse of today's ever-shifting tech scene, but also offers a credible track record. She has 20 plus years experience in business development and entrepreneurial experience. An acclaimed violinist, Zhe brings an artistic and strategic perspective to all marketing campaigns. She gives visibility to her clients' brands through the application of her wisdom and technical experience from 20 plus years experience building websites and employing the marketing fundamentals critical to her success in building over 200 digital marketing campaigns in various niches, sectors, and industries worldwide, all within the past 5+ years. Zhe serves her clients' needs with an extensive knowledge base, including web development, webmaster, web application development, SEO, SEM, link building, Amazon SEO, technical SEO, WordPress SEO, Shopify SEO, PPC, social media marketing, email marketing, marketing automation, and beyond. Unique value is not one size fits all. Zhe guides individuals and businesses to find clarity, confidence, and certainty in what authentic success means to them within the constraints of their budget and deadlines. Zhe's efforts have generated millions of dollars in revenue cumulatively.
Over 60 million and
Over
counting.
60 million and counting. Hear that. Over 60 million and counting for her clients.
And that's conservative.
That's conservative. Utilizing her business development skill set, she also built a recurring book of business worth over $500,000 for a Michigan-based digital marketing agency in 2 years. Zhe Scott is the SEO queen, and she looks forward to bringing added value to all facets of your marketing and SEO needs. I'm really excited to get in today's conversation with Zhe. And as you heard from her bio, she has a lot to share with us. This is going to be a phenomenal conversation. All right, Zhe, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
Thanks so much. With your busy schedule and all your accolades and accomplishments, I am blessed you're on the show, and I'm excited for everything you have to share with our listeners. I'm really curious, how did you get into becoming the SEO queen? MIT in itself is beyond impressive, so you have to talk about that too.
Well, before I was born, my grandmother and my dad were sitting at the kitchen table, and my grandmother gave my dad some career advice. She said, "You need to go into computers." So my dad listened to his mom, and this is in the 60s.
Wow.
And this is when they had the vacuum tube mainframes and the punch cards. And so my dad, he goes and gets a degree in computer science from Cal State Dominguez. I think I was like 1 or 2 at his graduation with his business degree, but he was one of the top students in his class, and he's taught at Long Beach City College. And over the years, he's taught me everything I know about coding. And some people are multilingual in different languages, but he masters computer languages like that. So he encouraged me to apply to MIT when I was in high school, and I was going through all those letters after my high PSAT score. They were sending me letters and this, that, come to my school, consider my school. And MIT sent me a card, and I picked it up, and I remember laughing. I'm like, MIT wants me? I'm like, what? Because MIT wasn't even like, when I was going through high school and junior high and elementary school, I was thinking about Harvard and Yale and maybe the UCs. So I got into all of the ones I applied to except for Harvard. So when my dad said, apply to MIT, I'm so glad I listened.
Nice.
Because I had a phenomenal college experience, and I would definitely go again. MIT is an incredible place, and I still still have friends, lifelong friends from MIT. And it really taught me to be fearless when facing anything. So that's what, any anxiety about learning anything new, like MIT got rid of that. I don't have anxiety in that area.
So reality is, anything that presents itself to you, you figure, I made it through MIT, I can really do anything at this point.
Yeah. So
nice. So what got you into SEO? I mean, I get that you studied what, hardware? Is that kind of where your focus was?
I was focused more on software. So I took a Java class, I took a C++ class, and I took a web development class as well, along with logistics and business communications and management classes, innovation classes. And they were really cool because those case studies that we studied were really helpful, like understanding, price segmentation and segmenting the market and the psychology behind that. I use that to this day. It's like I have offers that are 0, 10, 25, all the way up to $15,000. So I think, that experience I got there was pretty awesome, and I got to study all types of great stuff. But when I graduated from MIT, I worked as a web applications developer for Raytheon. And I was there for about a year before I accepted my full ride to get my master's degree in public policy from University of Michigan, which I'm proud to say that I'm a newly chosen selected commissioner for the Long Beach City Redistricting Commission.
Nice.
So
Congratulations.
I just did my live scan, and I get my little ID card and all that good stuff. So So,
Z enters politics. Look out, world.
well, I've run for office before, so this
Okay.
isn't my first foray, but this is kind of like I sit on my son's PTA board and the sister cities, the main sister cities of Long Beach committee. I'm the secretary, and then I'm also the secretary for the Mombasa, Kenya board.
Nice. That's phenomenal.
So
Love
civic
Long Beach.
involvement is very important to me.
That I absolutely agree. I've been involved in the community for years. I was actually involved in an organization called LBCBN, which is now the Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce of Long Beach. I had been involved with it for years, and I wholeheartedly believe that in order to be supported, we must support.
Oh, absolutely. And I think by being connected, whenever there's an issue or a question that I have with regard to my business or anything else, because I'm involved, I know who to go to, and I don't feel um, awkward about approaching anyone, asking any questions. I really feel, Long Beach to me is one of the best cities. But to answer your question about how did I get into SEO? So
Mhm.
after I got my master's degree, after my divorce, I started working for this small tech company, and I was tasked with growing their business. So I grew their business in Michigan, and that's when SEO became really popular. That's when I really started to pay attention to it and utilize my website design and development background to really understand what it is. And I studied it like crazy.
Nice, nice.
Mhm.
So, so what had you flip the switch to go from being an employee to being an entrepreneur, business owner?
Well, I'm so happy you asked me that question too. That's a great question because when in the midst of me making this man all this money with
Mhm.
this company that was making all this, because when I counted up how much money I was bringing in, I asked for a raise,
Yeah.
not one, not two, but three times,
Oh,
and it really dawned on me, especially as an MIT graduate, and I'm seeing a lot of my peers, have started businesses or doing all these great things. I'm like, you know what? Let me get into this. And I realized, now looking back, my MIT education was great for a corporate setting. So
Mhm.
I've had to learn a lot about running a small business.
Yeah.
And it's a whole different ball of wax
It's a
than a
beast. Yeah.
bigger, yeah, than a bigger, because there's cross functionality is not an option
Hmm.
for a small business.
Hmm.
It's the only way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have to learn, pick up different hats. And then there's some things I thought I was ready for, but I wasn't. And so just getting my handle of being more disciplined about the numbers, because I'm the type of person where I really care about my clients and just doing the work, but just scrutinizing that. But I think I'm really, really headed in the right direction.
I love it.
So
Absolutely love it. So how long ago did you jump off the cliff and become this empowered entrepreneur that's just seizing the world by every breath that you have?
I took the jump in 2012,
Mhm.
and in this year I finally committed to not ever working for someone else. So,
I absolutely love that. That's
because I would
phenomenal.
take on little projects here and there. There was some, like I worked as a for a nonprofit organization called the Valley Economic Development Center.
Hmm.
I worked with them for a little bit over a year, and it was a great experience. But due to circumstances beyond my control, they ended up shutting their doors. But it was a great opportunity working with a lot of small businesses in Long Beach and the, South Bay area. But um, after, yeah, before that, I was working for another agency, and then I worked briefly for a small tech company. But at this point, I've when I started, when I rebranded my company and shut my first company that I started in 2012 down and rebranded and relaunched in 2017 officially,
Hmm.
I really wanted to focus on, establishing me as a uh, expert in
Hmm.
my field. And I feel like I'm starting to gain traction in that area. So
Seriously, traction. I mean, if memory serves me properly, and please correct me if I'm wrong, for those of you who haven't noticed, yes, I've got a head cold, so Z's keeping me on track because clarity right now is not my friend. So Z, please keep me straight on this. I recall seeing you post about a month or so ago. You got awarded a pretty big contract with the city of LA, the county of LA, the water district, something like that. Is that accurate?
so it was with the California Off-Road Equipment Initiative with
There you
CalSTAR.
go. Yep.
And I was awarded that initiative. It was a $44 million fund that was dispersed to business owners to help them convert their fossil fuel equipment to clean tech. So whether it was a rail yard or a food truck, a refrigerator truck, or just a whole host of different functionalities, they were given vouchers to purchase approved equipment. So
Nice.
that was a fun experience building out that website. It's always great doing projects where people have budget and they know what they want and they're willing and able to communicate clearly. So when I have to mind read, that's when it gets to be a challenge.
So I specifically asked that question because, in my humble opinion, one of the mistakes that entrepreneurs make is they set the bar too low and they either hit it or they just miss. And, I haven't known you very long. However, when I met you, I'm a really good read of people, and you're dynamic, you're energetic, you're very empowered, you got a strong mindset, and you shoot for the moon. And I've kind of been watching you throughout your journey since we've met. And that was one thing that I absolutely loved for you or loved about you, is that you're not afraid to go after it.
No, I'm not.
It's
And
a whole MIT thing.
my mom, I hate to put my mom on the spot, but
Uh-oh.
that's one of the things that she loves but hates about me is that I'm so determined. But it's like, what can I say?
There you go. And
I
it's
know what I
funny.
like.
Yeah, no, I get it. So if you guys are listening right now and you kind of find yourself always asking for those onesie twosie things or looking for the onesie twosie things, take note from what Z's talking about, because reality is absolutely continue to pursue the small items, because they're going to put food on your plate today, and also go after the Godzillas of business, because reality is they'll feed you for a lifetime. And the bigger you can think, the bigger you can pursue, in my humble opinion.
Right. So, I mean, I have had such a wide range of clients from multinational corporations. Like I did the social media and SEO for Tatong, which is based out of Taiwan, but has an office in Long Beach. That's their North American base. I've worked with, solopreneurs, small businesses. I've worked with quite a wide gambit of people who want to do, their SEO and website design and outsource it. So
I love it.
I think that title, sell without selling, when I started this new brand, the SEO Queen, and I really wanted to, you know, get some traction, sell without selling was definitely my goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, when I built the one company up in 2 years to, $500,000 in recurring revenue, um, it was really a grind. I mean,
Yeah.
it was really a grind. I mean, I literally hardly slept. I was talking to people around the world around the clock. It was a lot of work, a lot of time,
Yeah, it is.
which
It
I'm
is.
really not willing to do now, being honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I had a client today that I kind of wrapped up their project and gave them some advice on how to use a VA to continue. So I'm really just at the point where I want to do work that, really helps companies And that also, brings me joy and satisfaction. So
Yeah, you're looking for a win-win at a minimum, or a
right,
win-win-win.
right,
Yeah,
right. A
absolutely.
win-win.
That's
Absolutely.
what business has to be. So,
Yes.
so Z, for those of you who don't know, when we think of MIT, when we think of IT people, when we think of those computer people, the people behind the scenes, you think of those people that are just the computer type, the quiet, the silent,
The
the
nerd.
yes, there you said it. And let me tell you, Z is far from that. She
Well, I'm a nerd. I'm just
I,
not your typical nerd.
there you go. Okay.
I'm such a nerd. Like I love Star Trek, sci-fi. That's yeah. I'm definitely
so
don't get
so
it twisted.
no, no, you know what? Hey, when it comes right down to it, because the industry I'm in, speaking, training, and neurolinguistics programming is a very intense science. And
Mhm.
when it comes to that science, I am a geek. I nerd out. I am immersed in it to the nth. And so I get the whole nerd geek thing, and people are like, there's no way you're like that. Yeah, I am. I'm completely outing myself. I am. So I get it. And the one thing I like about you is you're so personable. You're so magnetic. You're able to really communicate with people. And I'm not saying others can't. I'm just saying it is easier with you. You're a nerd with a
Oh, thank you.
personality. So Z, what inspires you? Because as you said earlier, endless hours. Being an entrepreneur, being a business owner, it's not necessarily easy. We jokingly say the entrepreneur and business owner will work 80 hours a week to avoid a 40-hour-a-week job. What inspires you to get up every day and get to it?
Well, for me, you know, like I have to go back to, why I started being an entrepreneur. So,
Mhm.
first of all, it was the fact that, the compensation for the amount of time and effort I was putting in to me was not worth it.
Mhm.
And two, I think it was the second agency I worked for that wasn't my own. I got into a situation where this guy who couldn't get accepted to MIT. I asked him some technical questions, and some of the answers he gave me, I really had no respect for, but he was my boss.
Mhm.
And so, I wanted to avoid situations like that. So I just had to put my big girl panties on and be the boss. That was the
Mhm.
only option I really saw because, I just didn't want to be put in a position where I could not express my full professional potential.
Mhm.
I just didn't want to go to a job or be in a situation where I was resentful. It's like, and that's another thing. It's like when you work for someone else, eventually if they want to change direction or the market shifts, they'll let you go.
Yeah.
I'm not firing me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clients may
Good.
come and go, but I have my affiliate sites, I have products, I have my services. So for me, it's like, yeah, it's a little bit thin at the beginning, but in the future, I know that a lot of great things are going to happen and have happened.
Mhm. No, I love that. So, so what do you think has been key in your journey to success?
Asking questions,
So, can you elaborate on that?
realizing what I don't know.
Mm.
And if I don't know what I don't know, asking, what is it that I'm missing? And just
Mhm.
asking those questions has been a game changer.
Mhm.
You know, I'm in quite a few masterminds right now for different things and
Mhm.
up leveling my skills, keeping up with the latest things in the market is so important. It's all so important.
That's
So
got to be really hard in your arena because it's constantly changing.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is constantly changing and it does get pricey, but to me it's worth it. I mean, I've spent, to go through college, that was over $100,000. So
Yeah.
that was an incredible investment. So 10,000 here and there. That's peanuts.
Yeah, isn't it funny that it's one of the things I've noticed constantly is that the business owner, the sales professional, the entrepreneur today is so reluctant on investing in themselves. And what they fail to realize is the more they invest in themselves and their business, the further they're going to go. Because as you stated, they don't know what they don't know. And it's what we don't know that we don't know that holds us back.
Right. And when my eyes were really open, like I remember this conversation I had years ago when I had my first marketing company, and I was talking to this, I think she was a government analyst, and I was on this committee that was helping to reconfigure the Pontiac libraries. And we were talking about contracts, and she was like, are you using these type of contracts? Are you doing this, that, and the other? And that was like a big aha moment because, in the midst of me, launching my first company, part of my onboarding process was flawed. And
Mm-hmm.
she opened my eyes to that. Like I never took a contracts class in college.
Mm-hmm.
I never understood or was taught like the importance of a contract.
Right.
Yeah. So now it's like I have to use the contracts, and even sometimes those contracts don't completely protect you, but they help most people.
Mm-hmm.
I would say 80-90% of people honor their word, and when
Yeah.
they sign, they honor that.
Yeah. Yeah. I have the same experience. We, in our trainings, we offer an interest-free payment plan, and we allow people to make payments interest-free because we know that sometimes for people making a large investment in themselves is I'm going to say in air quotes scary or intimidating. So
Right.
we'll help people by investing in them so that they can invest in themselves. And I have to tell you, I've had business coaches of mine push back on me about that philosophy. And fast forward 10 years later, I think I can count the number of times on one hand I've been burned. And we've had a solid contract, and the contracts have held up in court.
Right.
But to have thousands of people go through our program, and to have 5 or less people
That's
not follow
phenomenal.
through.
Yeah,
It's incredible,
that is incredible.
Yeah, it
Absolutely.
really is. I think for the most part, people show up for the right reasons. They really do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And my philosophy with my business is, if you're not winning, then I haven't done my job. So
Yeah, I love it. How has failure helped you achieve success?
that's a good question. So I think for me, oh man, there's so many times where I thought it was over.
Amen to
And
that.
the first time was when I got really sick as an undergrad, and I had to withdraw from school. So I took like a year off, and then I came back. When I came back, I got straight A's that term
Nice.
because I was so scared to do anything outside of class. So all I did was class. I got straight A's that term.
Nice. And how
Yeah,
about in
that was at
business?
MIT, straight A's. And then I think the next time I had a major failure is I felt like failures when I gave birth to my daughter, and 14 days later I was diagnosed bipolar.
Uh-huh.
So I thought my life was over, and the psychiatrist and the doctors was like, oh, you're going to be on medication, you're going to be, all these things. At one point the doctor said, don't even leave your house, and I was like, I can't live like this.
Right.
I could not live like this.
Yeah.
So what I ended up doing is I got a soul coach many years later. It took the chain of events on how we found each other. I'm not going to go into that, but I got with Dr. Staples, and she helped me to just really understand things about myself that is like people talk about, you know, humanity from a scientific standpoint in college. going to church. We talk about some of the spiritual part, but she actually just brought everything together in a way that made so much sense to me through the Supreme Love Project. And it's been a game changer.
Nice. Nice. I love that. I love that.
So that's right before I signed up for her course, I was in a relationship, and this guy had cheated on me with I don't know how many women, and it was just a horrible just experience. And I just I don't want to go through this again.
Mm-hmm.
And going through the Supreme Love Project, it really helped me to be more in tune with myself and my boundaries, and to be committed to those boundaries.
Nice. So see, you help business owners and businesses and entrepreneurs achieve success. So I'm really curious, what does success mean to you?
I think success can be defined a multitude of ways. I think enjoying the journey and having clarity, that's a success.
Mm-hmm.
Making a lot of money, obviously, that's a success.
It's a measurement tool.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's a measurement tool. But for me, my happiness is knowing that when I wake up, when I get to work, it's because I made that choice, and it's not something I have to do. I get to do it.
Love that.
And it's, for me, it's just being grateful every day. Like, I'm so grateful for my son, even though he's, we're knocking the rough edges off, but he's a good kid. He's a phenomenal kid. He's so smart, so creative.
How old are your kids?
My son is 6 and my daughter is 17.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it's been a learning experience, but for me, success is really just, it's gratitude. It's being able to be grateful, because things could always be worse.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm curious, you deal with a lot of businesses and a lot of entrepreneurs and sales professionals, just like I do.
Mm-hmm.
You know the statistics, 97% unfortunately don't make it. Why do you think so many fail and fail to recover from failing?
Whew. I think some people let their ego get in the way, and they're hard-headed.
Yep.
Some entrepreneurs are hard-headed and don't listen to good advice.
Yep.
I think others, like I've seen some really phenomenal entrepreneurs who dotted their I's and crossed their T's go out of business.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's literally out of their control.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen different scenarios happen. But I mean, there's one entrepreneur I'm thinking of right now, and man, it's crazy. The being in business is so unpredictable, and a lot of it is luck, but a lot of it is hard work.
So I'd like to talk about that, because I almost there's part of it I agree with, and then part of it I disagree with. So unpredictable. I believe that being a business owner and an entrepreneur, that the environment around us can absolutely be unpredictable. We couldn't control the pandemic or what happened to the global economy because of it. However, we can absolutely control how we respond to it.
Right.
And how we respond to it determines the predictability or unpredictability from that point forward. Some people shut down with fear, right? Where others step back and they look at everything and they say, okay, what I did before can still work here, but it might not work here. So then they allow themselves to, I'm going to say in air quotes, pivot, right? Mm-hmm. The name of my company is Pivot Point Advantage. I named my company that well over 12 years ago, because I believe that to be successful, to be an entrepreneur, to be a business person, to be a business owner, you must be able to pivot on a dime. And
I agree with that. Yeah.
And so when I say I agree and I disagree, I agree about the unpredictability. I just also believe that even though things can be unpredictable, we can still control how we respond to it so that we can step back and then, I'll say in air quotes, control the outcome, right?
Right.
For some people, like if you look at restaurants, there were some restaurants early on that said, you know what, you may not be able to sit in here, but I can offer everything for takeout.
Mm-hmm.
And so there were restaurants out there that pivoted really quick to
Right.
streamline.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's where I want people to really understand that it doesn't really matter what's going on. What matters is what it is you're willing to do about what's going on.
Right. And I think, the thing that I've seen, hinder entrepreneurs is how controversial they are, or
Yep.
if they make political statements. Like
Yep.
one big case that's been in the news recently was Nick Cannon. He made some statements that where he lost hosting Wild and Out. And I think for entrepreneurs, there was this one group I was involved in LinkedIn, and I ended up leaving the group
Mm.
because I felt like the entrepreneurs in that group were inauthentic and were not willing to speak out against things that to me were intuitively obvious and should not be controversial at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think um just having the intuition to understand that is important. But sometimes as an entrepreneur, you face a hit because of where you stand on certain issues. So I think especially with the whole, Black Lives Matter issue
Mhm.
and things, it's, I think for entrepreneurs, I would urge any new brand to be conservative in their speech, and as they grow and vibe more with their tribe, then they can be a little bit more woo woo or whatever it is. But
Yeah. Yeah.
there's always if you state your opinion about something that's a really hot button issue for people, you're going to get some blowback.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so I've been trying to avoid any of that with my business, because my business
Yeah.
is, I've worked with people from all kinds of walks of life,
Mhm.
so I don't have an issue with it, because, at the end of the day, my standpoint is that we're all people,
Yeah.
humans that all deserve love and respect. Amen.
I agree. I agree. Absolutely. I get blowback a lot because people want to know why I don't advocate uh, the GLBTQ community more. And it's not
Mhm.
that I don't. Reality is I'm kind of a walking billboard for the community. I can't hide my lifestyle because I'm very comfortable just being me and I allow me to be me. That doesn't mean I have to be vocal about it. It doesn't mean I have to be political about it. It just means that I'm okay being me, and those who are going to be okay with being me will resonate with me, and those who don't won't. It doesn't mean that
Right.
I need a bullhorn to scream it out,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So,
So yeah. I mean, I can think of some entrepreneurs right now who are very opinionated and are
yeah.
rude and cut people off in discussions all the time. Like I was in a meeting the other day, and it's nice to be nice, just
Yeah.
be nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And in your world, the whole problem, I'll say, with your world is once you put it out there, you can't
Mhm.
retract it.
Oh no, once you put something out there on social media, that's it.
Yeah, I remember, I think it was my grandmother that taught me when I was really little, say it, forget it, write it, regret it. And I have resonated that in my head forever. So whenever we put anything in writing on social media or a website or a blog or
Mhm.
anything, it's kind of like, oh, do I really want that there forever?
Right, right. I know if we lived in the age that if I lived in this tech age when I was going through undergrad,
Mhm.
I would have flowed a lot different. Woo, I was
MIT
the
may
best
have.
in undergrad. Woo, I had a big mouth.
So
Woo, I would be typing. You know that meme with the cat going like this? That was me in as an undergrad.
that's awesome. So let's geek out for a sec. Okay, let's talk about SEO and success. So what part does SEO, SEM, social media, all of that, what part does that play to someone's ability to achieve what it is they wanted to achieve?
Well, SEO is important because people, before they purchase from you, they want to see if who you are.
Mhm.
There's such a wide ranging scammers online. It's
Yeah.
important for you to show your face and show who you are online as a
Mhm.
business owner. I feel uncomfortable dealing if I go to a website and I don't see any names, I don't see any faces, and if I can't go on LinkedIn and find that person, I'm reluctant to do business because I'm like, okay, who do I know
Right.
in my network that knows them? Are they at least 2 or 3 degrees separated from me? Like, do they have any recommendations? So, when people are considering, spending their hard-earned dollars with you, it's important to make them feel comfortable knowing that you're there and
Mhm.
consistently showing up, at least sharing your website content on your social media is a minimum. Um, I think, SEO is powerful because when you're on Google page one for your brand name, that gives you credibility, it gives you visibility. When you're on social media and you're visible, that sends social signals to Google for your website, so you rank higher in that regard.
Mhm.
And then when it comes to SEM, it's 7.94% of people who are searching on a given term, if you're ranked one for a paid ad on Google, will click on your ad.
Mhm.
So if you're organically ranked, 33.3% will click on you if you're ranked number one organically.
Wow.
So if you're doing both, that's almost 50% of the traffic.
Wow, that's phenomenal statistics. So
Mhm.
how do you help people? I mean, there are a lot of people in the digital world that make a lot of claims, right? Trust me, I've kissed a lot of frogs. So how are you different?
Well, I think a lot of people, when they get into the SEO and the digital space, they know how to talk the talk,
Mhm.
but they really don't have a track record. I
Mhm.
think if you look at just Googling the SEO queen, you'll see that I'm number one in everywhere.
Mhm.
So and then I also have on my YouTube channel, I have a list of keywords that I've gotten on Google page one. One brand in particular I worked with in the past, Jovino, they actually have their products in Walmart now. So Jovino is a natural pomade, and they were one of my clients, one of the first clients I took on when I relaunched my brand, and I got them on Google page one.
Mhm.
And you can see those keywords in that video
Nice.
that I ranked. And I just have a track record. I know what I'm doing. I've written a book about SEO. I
Mhm.
do webinars on SEO. I mean,
Mhm.
I try to collect as many testimonials as possible and keep a running tally of all the keywords I've gotten on Google page one.
Nice.
So I mean, it's it's been
Yeah.
a
So
lot of impressions, a lot of rankings.
for someone starting out,
Mhm.
what advice do you have to give them when it comes to the whole digital marketing world?
Well, number one, don't be paralyzed into inaction.
Okay.
Move. Number two, identify at least 25 keywords that your ideal prospect is looking for you by,
Okay.
and identify, your best hashtags as well. So when you post on social media, you can get that visibility. So I
Mhm.
actually have a keyword suggestion tool that you can use on my website, seoqueen.com, So you can go there. You can go to Google's keyword discovery tool as well. If you have a AdWords account, you can access it there. It's called a keyword planner. I would identify those keywords, and then I would use those keywords in my copy, make it unique, make it engagement, show your expertise. And then finally, I would make sure that I've submitted that website to Google by using the Google Analytics and the Google Webmaster Tools. Now, if you can just do just that little bit right there and share your pages from your website on your social media, you will get some visibility.
Nice, nice. That's great advice. So, we talked about earlier the immense amount of hours it took to build a business of your success. What kept you motivated through that, besides your $100,000 MIT bill?
Well, what kept me motivated and what keeps me motivated is that I know when I'm helping small companies win, that this is having a big impact. When I was working at Raytheon, I felt like a cog in a big machine.
Mhm.
And I felt like I really wasn't having a significant impact beyond my pocketbook. And so now I'm able to help so many businesses, and it's just a great feeling to be helping. It's like changing businesses, growing businesses, and we're growing together. It's awesome. It's like a
Mhm.
community. It's like my clients are like my tribe. It's like my colleagues, and it's it's a whole different dynamic than the whole, employee
Yep.
situation. It's just so
Yep.
much more respect, so much more love, so much more positivity, and I really enjoy connecting with other entrepreneurs.
Mhm. So on that note, how has networking helped you achieve the levels of success that you have so far?
Networking is, if you're not networking,
Hmm.
you're leaving money on the table.
Amen to that. So what is networking
Leaving-
to you?
It's relationship building. It's my social life, really.
I get it. Absolutely
Before
get it.
before my boo came along,
Hmm.
yeah, that was my social calendar right there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. When I first started building Pivot Point, I went to 3 networking meetings a day, 4 to 5 times a week, mostly 4, because it was hard to find networking meetings on Monday,
Mhm.
easier on Friday, but I couldn't always find 3. And I bootstrapped Pivot Point's success because I was coming off of an embezzlement and 16 cents in the bank and filing bankruptcy.
Oh
So
yeah.
for me, I had to figure out a way to bootstrap my success. And you're
Right.
right. I was working so much that networking became my social life. My friends became my work, and my work became my friends. And it all just kind of blended and morphed into what it is today, a 7-figure business and thousands of amazing, blessed, grateful relationships. I'm just,
Right. Yeah, I mean, for me, being a part of Connected Women of Influence and the LA South Chamber, like I will always be a member of those two organizations because
mhm.
they've been just a tremendous help, from doing, Sue Talks with Connected Women of Influence to doing Women Lead Radio, and then just meeting so many phenomenal people like Deborah Thorne, Eva Venari, Monique Guzman, and then LA South Chamber with Dexter McLeod, and just meeting Adrian Valise and working with the Macedonia Community Development Corporation. And that's how I got connected to the Valley Economic Development Center, and just so many things. It's been a great experience, and people buy from those that they like, know, and trust. And networking is a phenomenal way to establish that.
Yeah. So in today's environment where it's the mandated stay at home, stay safe at home orders,
Mhm.
how do you network today?
On Zoom,
Yeah, amen. So many people are complaining about it, and I'm like, why are you complaining about the
you
tool
don't have
that's
to
saving
drive
you?
anywhere. You don't have to
I
use no
know.
gas. I'm loving it.
I know. I find myself, yeah, there's Zoom butt and yeah, there's Zoom fatigue. And I find myself far more productive because you're right. I don't have to
Me
drive an hour
too.
anymore. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm in the process of finishing up a book. Actually, I have
Nice.
2 books that are going to be coming out within the next, hopefully, few months.
Nice.
Yeah, so I just hired a virtual assistant. Thank you, Jesus. I'm just like, oh, I need some help.
Yeah.
So I'm just excited about that. Yeah.
So I know your 6-year-old son is very, very close to you right now in proximity. What
Mhm.
advice do you have to give the moms who are mompreneurs pursuing success with small children at home besides vodka?
I prefer champagne.
Okay, there you go.
And I have a small bottle and a big bottle in my fridge waiting.
Giddy up.
Take the edge off a little bit every now and then. But but the advice I would give is you have to schedule time to take a break.
Yeah.
And one thing I've been doing is when I actually do eat lunch, I eat lunch with my son.
Nice.
Yeah, so he loves that. And I we work near each other, so when I like look up briefly for air, I ask him, "Are you doing your work? Doing your work?" So I'm like all day, I'm like kind of ear hustling with him.
Hmm. Hmm.
And sometimes you win some, you lose some, but I think for me, this whole COVID thing and the kids learning, this is this is a time where I have given myself permission to give us some grace. I'm
Yeah.
gonna give them a little grace because being an MIT alumni,
Yeah.
education is extremely important.
Yeah. I figured.
And I know I could be a little about it.
Hmm.
And so I try to loosen up just a little bit, but I've talked to some other parents and some of their kids can't even stay on Zoom. So I think I'm fortunate that my son actually can, stay in his class
Hmm.
duration. And he is learning a lot. He's at the age where he needs a lot of repetition.
Yeah.
And you know, I told him if we have to do summers for a few years until you get where you need to be, that's what we'll do.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was looking for a tutor. So I think, investing in your kids is important too. So
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. When I was bootstrapping Pivot Point, Kiana was 6. She
mhm,
was just, I believe, just entering first grade ish, give or take. And
mhm.
I remember, I remember picking her up, sitting her down at the dining room table, and then I'd sit next to her and she'd do her work and I would do my work. And that's how we worked. And it created
That
an
works a lot.
it does.
That really is powerful.
Yeah, it creates great discipline. And
Mhm.
fast forward today, she's 20. She's going to school full time at Cal State Fullerton, majoring in entrepreneurism. As a matter of fact, she just recently did an interview with me. Uh,
Wow, that's awesome.
I know it was really awesome. I anytime anytime she comes to one of my boot camps or one of my events, the people that talk with her always say, "Oh my gosh, you talk differently. I wish I knew what you knew at 20." So,
Mhm.
so she doesn't know any better, and I brought her up in a mindset environment, right?
Right, right.
So we named the episode "Program to Pursue Success," and she was so nervous. So she goes to school full time at Cal State Fullerton. She's majoring in entrepreneurism, and she works for me full time
Oh, okay,
because
okay.
I'm grooming her to take over the business, but she's going to earn it. So she's
Right,
starting
right,
from the bottom up, and
right.
right now she's handling the operations and the student coordination, and she's handling my franchise territories, and she's doing the admin. She's got a full plate, and
Yeah.
You know, anytime she feels herself pulling back and getting into the negative mindset, she just puts herself in check. And it's not, I have to do this. It's, I get to do this, because reality is mom could hire somebody else and I don't have the opportunity to take over a successful business.
Right.
So I love that you're working with your kid and developing that discipline at such an early age, because that's really what it is. It's self-discipline.
Yeah, and I think, you know, since my daughter is so much older and she lives with her father and he lives with me, he's like the only child and he is by himself a lot, and I realize that I am his social life.
Yeah.
So, you know, as a mom, as a mompreneur, you know, I think the kids are really missing and suffering from the lack of interaction with kids their own age.
Yeah.
And so just being mindful of that and spending time with your kids is so important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And also remembering and understanding what you're going through, they're going through even more,
Right.
because they do need more of that physical stimulation, that social interaction, and kids aren't meant to be cooped up in four walls, right?
No, they're not. And I love to garden. And so I know he has a blast when we go out into the garden and runs
Nice.
around and plays with his ball. And sometimes he helps, but yeah.
So this is the signature question of our show, and it's one of my favorite to ask. So Z, what does sell without selling mean to you?
Sell without selling means to me that you clearly let your expertise shine so much that you are like a magnet
I love it.
for the outcome that you desire.
I absolutely love it. You know, reality is, if you're stepping into a buy-sell encounter and you have to go through the whole bells and whistles of doing a presentation to steer somebody into a corner to close them, then you've really done both of you an injustice. If you've got the mindset to support your skill set and your knowledge, and you truly are an expert in your field, and you're the best of the best, you'll understand your prospective clients' needs, wants, and desires, and be able to match it to your product, service, and solution, so that you're not selling to them, they're actually buying from you.
Right, right, exactly. So that has been the goal of my brand, and I couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, I love it. So Z, welcome to the random round. See, I believe that success leaves clues, and I believe that our listeners can extract very specific information from our experts and then apply it to themselves to help pursue the success that they've always wanted and dreamed of, desired, and deserved. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions here. So the first question is, what's your morning routine look like?
Ideally or in reality?
How about both?
Okay. Ideally, I'll wake up, go into my prayer closet, listen to my music, pray, do a little journaling, and get up and do some exercise. But in reality, I lay in my bed, say my prayers, and then I look at my phone and start answering social media emails.
Okay.
Until he wakes up, and then I get him into class and continue working on client projects.
I love
So
it.
at the beginning of the pandemic, I was like really super good at like giving myself time to really like roll into my day. But lately I've been kind of like waking up and just running.
Okay, so my next random round question is, what is your favorite word and why?
My favorite word?
Yes, ma'am. What is your favorite word and why?
I'm going to have to go back to AP English. I was in AP English in high school, and I learned this word and it stuck with me. And the word is procure, which means to get.
Yes.
And I like to get free traffic to help my clients get more visibility, credibility, and profitability online.
I love that, Z. Great answer. So Z, it's been phenomenal talking with you today, and I really appreciate you coming on the show, and even your son making the guest appearance that he did a couple of minutes ago. What's the best way for our listeners to find you, get a hold of you if they want to reach out to you?
The best way to connect with me is online. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, the SEO Queen, SEOqueen.com. You can connect with me on Instagram at the SEO Queen, Facebook at the SEO Queen, LinkedIn at the SEO Queen. Only my website is SEO Queen. But technically, you can reach me on the SEOqueen.com, the SEOqueen.net, and SEOqueen.com. So
fantastic.
You will find me either way, or just Google me.
There you go. So Z, I really appreciate you coming on the show. Thanks so much. Your success is important to me, and it's also important to me to make sure that these episodes are valuable to you. I would love for you to do a few things right now. I'd love for you to hop over to Instagram and follow us at Pivot Point Advantage. That's hop over to Instagram and follow us at Pivot Point Advantage. Second, I'd love it if you'd head over to Facebook and join our Sell Without Selling community. That's head over to Facebook and join our Sell Without Selling community. We have an immense amount of interaction on both platforms. We also share different information on both platforms, so we look forward to seeing you there. Last and definitely not least, I love to chat with you, give feedback on the episodes, and find out any topics that you're interested in to help make this podcast more powerful and helpful to you achieving the success you've always dreamed of, desired, and deserved. Head over to pivotpointadvantage.com/talk to Stacey. That's pivotpointadvantage.com/talk to Stacey. Let's get a 15-minute call on the schedule. I look forward to getting to know you. Always remember this: choice is a powerful thing, and suffering is always optional. Get out of your way so that you can get on your way, so you can finally have your way. Thanks so much for listening, and I look forward to talking with you soon.
Whether it's mastering your mindset, communication, or success, we have more ways to keep you on your journey to greatness. Be sure to visit us at pivotpointadvantage.com for exclusive online training programs, success-specific courses, and more ways to connect to Stacey directly to help you achieve the financial success you've always desired, dreamed, and deserved. That's all available on pivotpointadvantage.com.